Hey y'all, Ami Clark here. In the past, recent past, I've been doing a lot of videos regarding left versus right because I am left. I'm a democratic socialist and I don't agree with this government. And for the longest, I really did believe it was left versus right. Going forward, while I still advocate, and I will be an activist and advocate for the trans community, the LGBTQIA community, immigrants alike, that's staying. That will never disappear because that is part of me. That is part of my core beliefs of being a democratic socialist and wanting to help people. But I'm also going to shed light on the fact of that what is really going on is a war against the billionaires, a war against capitalism. This is a class war. I've been watching a lot of videos, and one of the videos I've watched, I followed this person on YouTube. Her name is Jennie Gage, and I hope I will tag her in this so she knows I'm mentioning her name. And she's an ex-Christian nationalist, apostate Mormon, like ex-Mormon, white supremacist, ex-trad wife, all of that. And it's because, and it took her years to realize that this is a huge class war and that it affects people's lives. It certainly affected hers. And I have to thank her for her I'm trying to say this right. I have to thank her for her humility in this because she has taught me a lot, and she is part of the reason I woke up to the fact that this is really a class war and has been a class war for decades. Okay? This isn't a war against Christianity. It never was. But it is a nice little distraction away from the fact that the billionaires are laughing at us, that the billionaires don't care about us, that we will continue to be at the feet of the billionaires. People are going to say they're going to be in the comments saying, oh, she's full of shit, whatever. I know what leftists are. They laughed at Charlie Kirk's death. And some did. I'm not going to lie. I didn't laugh at it. I just said, when you say shit that's fucked up, things are going to come back to you. And it's true because I know that my ass has been kicked many times by the things I've said. Okay? But I really do believe that in that regard, Charlie Kirk was a pawn in all of this. I mean, think about it. He gets killed. The president blames a side of leftists who don't happen to agree with what he's saying. This causes a huge war against a lot of innocent people, and the divide is even stronger. You ever think that maybe without this death, if it never happened, this whole thing would not be as stepped on regarding the divide? I want you to think about that. Because I want you to ask yourselves, especially MAGA, ask yourselves this question. And I'm not talking about the people in government. I'm talking about regular, everyday MAGA people, every day, feeding their children, going out, doing what they have to do to survive. Are you billionaires? I want you to ask yourselves that question. Are you billionaires? The reason I'm pointing at MAGA and asking them that question is because they're in it deep. They were sold such a fucked up lie. And so was I. I was sold a lie. I thought it, like I said, left versus right. It's really all of us versus fascism and all of us versus the billionaires. And the worst part about this, the fucked up part is that the dictator in office knows this, which is why he's making me, and other people alike terrorists because we're anti-capitalist. Because he knows we're waking up to shit. So when you come onto my comments and, sling shit, because I'm not here to sling shit, okay? Not anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm realizing what this really is. We need to work together. I don't give a fuck. We need to work together. I want you to ask yourselves, are you billionaires? Because if you're not, you are in for one hell of a fucked up ride when it affects you. And it will. It will. It doesn't matter that you voted for this dictatorship. It will. And your children will be affected because of the stuff that will go down, the hospitals that will close because of this big, beautiful bill. beautiful bill? We deserve to live our lives with health insurance, with mental health care, without having to break our banks or having to beg for them. These shootings has nothing to do with left versus right, has everything to do with a class war. The poor veteran, okay, and those innocent people who got killed in that Mormon church was because a veteran had enough. He couldn't do it anymore, okay? He needed the help he needed, and he couldn't get it because he couldn't afford it. Don't you understand that? Hashtag it's the billionaires.